Well, hello people, and welcome to another episode of City Showcase. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today's feature is Athena City by the wonderful Daniel Jepson, one of our fantastic Tier 3 patrons, who has submitted the largest CS1 city we've had on this series so far, at nearly 800,000 people, which is a beast of a CS1 build. It's super hard to hit those kind of population numbers on the first game. This is a modded city with lots of custom assets, and an absolute beast of a metropolis to explore over here. Daniel has been messaging me on Patreon the whole time he's been building this, so this is one I'm really quite invested in and quite looking forward to showing off. If you'd like to have your work featured in the next episode, fill out the Google form linked in the video description. Otherwise, let's finally take a look around the long-awaited Athena City, shall we? So first of all, let's start out with what is a pretty incredible orbital view. So the map is Mountain Taper from Sanctum Gamers map pack, which has been changed ever so slightly, but it's pretty much the same map. And look at the structure here. Absolute beast of a build, that, isn't it? Amazing road hierarchy all the way through the city. It looks to be extremely well planned. We can see lots of crisscrossing networks here. A real treat, right? We could also see Athena by Daniel Jepson, of course. Who else? Fantastic. Cool. So let's get stuck into the edge, and then we'll gradually crawl over what is clearly absolutely enormous metropolis, isn't it? Look at the size of this build. Settle in, everyone. This is likely to be a long one. So we'll come over here first of all to this mountaintop structure. The theme, by the way, is Seychelles with the road texture from the Bermuda theme, if you're wondering, because we don't often get a lot of theme mixes on City Showcase. So if you're wondering, it's mainly Seychelles with Bermuda road texture. But we'll come up here clearly to a very impressive first structure. This is the Mayor's Mansion, clearly, as it's aptly named, which is using tons of key wall with lots of fancy pond. And this whole Mayor's complex is just super elaborate, isn't it? There's a lot going on here, tons of plazas and promenades work. Leading us up to one of the museums. This is the Technology Museum, I think, isn't it? With a disaster memorial, tons of prop work in these little spaces. That's so cool. Look at the concrete texture on the Seychelles theme as well. Almost like a bit of a tile, isn't it, I suppose? Well, super nice. This blends off down into nature reserve vibes where we'll see viewpoints, turrets and bunkers as the path snakes all the way down. Up at the top we can enjoy tons of palm gardens, loads of detail in here, right? It is plaza and prop city. Really nice way to use the plaza's props there. Tropical gardens. Back on the mainland we have a super elaborate setup. Holy crap. There is a mod at play that's deloading the tree value. You can see them pop in as you move forward. I'm not sure what's causing that. I'll try to keep the camera at an angle to avoid that most of the video. But over here we'll see this awesome sort of like reflection pool, right? At the foot of the academic library, which has loads of tiles around it. So many plants here. The frames. Definitely feeling it. With loads of detailing. Nice pedestrianisation here with the pathways coming in. A little bit of node controller at work as well. With parking and shopping, and then a bridge over here. That takes us to a bit of a, I guess, a disaster centre. We've got custom firehouses down here. That's a nice building, that, isn't it? Super cute, that. A container storage, part maintenance, the radar dish, alongside multiple helicopter rescues. There's a nice little point of outer-lying service industry, of course, which is detailed with props, which you love to see, don't you? Nice use of the office branch there, too. So a really fun space. There's also mountain resorts up here as well, Mountain Village, whatever it's called. And this one as well. Really nice little space. Great, great pool detailing. Like, you've really gone to the extra effort to put this in, haven't you? Super nice stuff. Of course, it's always nice to get a view of all the props you don't see too often on the workshop as well. Over here, we have our little fountain jets in amongst the triangle fountains. That's a really nice design, isn't it? A little bit bright at certain angles. What a lot of fun. What a really fun Mayor's Plaza, isn't it? So many different designs there, very symmetric all the way down the middle. Looks absolutely fantastic. Really nice work, Daniel. Love the Mayor's Palace at the top here. And it doesn't stop there. as these roads wind down to a little weather radar station on the way out. We'll also see some of those pathways converging back up to the mayor's mansion as well. As we come down here, we'll see a botanical garden that's greeted with more mountain village, Japanese tropical gardens, bird enclosures. Lots of parks on the edge. Castle ruins. Really fun way to use a botanical garden using the official ruin assets. I really like what you've done here. And there's plenty more prop work to enjoy as well, tucked in all the corners of this big pedestrian garden. Even a hotel in there as well. And then a fully detailed botanical number. Props up out the front, even got a little hedge maze. That's so nice, isn't it? Look at the detail and that's gone into that, right? Time and attention into creating a little maze space like that. A really wonderful botanical garden, that, with some very impressive European road structure also taking you down to it as well, isn't there? Further down the road, we'll stumble across, I guess, a little maintenance depot here. Is this perhaps as a security checkpoint, maybe? It looks a little bit like that vibe, doesn't it? Two police here. Some light trash props as well. Really nice little rural road industrial service battery. Lots of decals around here, more forklift props. Great use of all the truck and vehicle assets here. Really nice space. Wonder if this has a name. Maybe I'm misinterpreting it. No, there's no district name here. That's okay. As we come across this, very impressive gorge with lots of rocks, which looks very cool, doesn't it? Now we'll arrive at National Road Infrastructure, which I assume are holding our outside connections here. They absolutely are. And then we'll come over here. So in terms of where we want to explore, I think we'll kind of split the city in two. So we'll cover the left side of this highway first, and then we'll move to the other side of it and finish up, of course, at the downtown waterfront over there. So let's come down this hill instead from the mayor's mansion. We'll pass by another lake, which has lots of nature reserve vibes here. Great use of all the countryside props. Love to see these beginning to appear in the city showcases now the last couple of episodes. And then some parking. And lots of overgrowth. This city has pretty much hit all of its limits. There's no nodes. There's no trees left. It's been absolutely smashed. I'm not surprised that nearly 800,000 populations. Absolutely wild. And this road brings us down into our first district suburb here. Let's get a bit of a grander scale of this, shall we? So emerging downtowns with tons of bad peanut assets, it looks like. Very nicely interwoven cricket pitch action here, lots of bush lining. Daniel did mention he was inspired by creators such as City Planner, Imperator, and myself. I think this is my inspiration coming through here, isn't it? The old wild hedge line, it can't be beaten, it just works all the time. A great little skate park pool combo. There's lots of emerging downtowns, of course, with all the backside of them taken care of. So it looks like authentic commercial delivery space behind these, doesn't it? I always appreciate that vibe. With emerging downtowns, plopped in many of its different forms. Got some of the more modern apartment buildings next to the older ones. And we've also got some green cities in here as well, which is a fantastic combination with emerging downtowns, isn't it? Definitely appreciating the combination of different styles there. Over here, we'll see the driving range by the highway, again with lots of very densely packed in flower beds. Which brings us up to a little bit of a town square plaza that sits in the middle of this suburb, doesn't it? Where we've got cafes and restaurants, tons more parks. Lots of bush lining. Little car parking installations in the buildings themselves. That's really nice, that. Little pond park here. Which has been really nicely detailed against the edge of the road, hasn't it? Little, like, well-trodden dirt entrance. It's actually an integration of two parks. That's a really nice combination there. Official parks, horse riding stables, all the way up through the middle. Which take us to this stadium, which I love what you did with the pathways here. It's very just modern and sleek, that, isn't it? Really cool. And then all of our stadium here is surrounded by more emerging downtowns. And we'll also see a really fun train line cutting right through the middle of the suburb here, won't we? I didn't even notice that train station there, actually. Which has all got fence around it. And you've even done Green City's back garden detailing. This is, when you start detailing back gardens, you need to seek help in CS. Means you're getting too much into it, but I love to see it, doesn't it? That's so cool. Little ponds and stuff in there. Differentiation in texture as well. A lot of time goes into doing stuff like that. Another custom pond asset over here using the gazebo, which looks really cool. Very blue water. With some swans. Which is fun, isn't it? Very nice. This train line goes back over the road we just came down to a hill over there and far away. We'll return to this space here. Lots of riverside greenbelt. Really love all the park space. You've interwoven greenbelt just so nicely into the city, at least in this instance. Props, park buildings all make up a continual flowing area. Pretty evident pretty much all the DLCs are present in this build. Over the pathway, taking us across the river, which we'll get to at a later date. We have a custom asset here, I'm guessing custom school by the shape and design. Toronto Elementary. Ignore the crime rate, by the way. Daniel has hit horrific endgame simulation problems. The crime obviously isn't this bad, but it will never be fixed just because it's 800,000 people, all nodes, all path units are being eaten up. There's not a lot we can do to fix that at this point, so just ignore that. I'll leave the UI off for most of the video. But yeah, little Toronto Elementary schools. Very happy with that. Nice little asset that, isn't it? Great detailing at the front with the fencing and the jacarandas. Services. Africa in miniature service buildings as well, which you don't see very often. The Africa Police. I don't mean literally the Africa Police, I'm talking about the Africa Police Station. Not people that enforce the law of Africa in the comments, of course. And I think this is fun. This real dense, emerging downtowns, green cities combo just runs for ages. You've got big rock formations as part of this suburb as well. And tons more density. And you can really see why you've hit pretty much 800,000 people. I reckon as well, you might have been able to get to 1 million. I know you're out of nodes now, but node saving tricks probably would have allowed you another 200,000. Less fencing, etc. Reclaiming highway nodes, the usual tricks. It just spans for miles, isn't it? Really, really fun. There's going to be so much population living here. Little cricket pitch at the end of the road down here before those nature reserve vibes kick back in again. I'm guessing this joins back up to the botanical garden, doesn't it? It does indeed. That's where we saw earlier. So lots of walkability up and down between different districts. And all this comes over here, where I think we're about to approach our first a bit of industry, aren't we? So let's make sure we hit this main road down here from the industrial park. Really nice use of Mountain Village assets down the main street. And also the Africa Botanical Garden, which is such a distinctive visual, isn't it? Just have that right on Main Street there. This will then bring us across the river into our next district as we move on here, which again is clearly something quite designed, isn't it? Let's see if this has a name. The Athena Maximal Prison. Where there is, as you would expect, an awful lot of crime. Let's have a little look around here, shall we? So come up to our prison entrance, which looks like custom prison buildings. Great detailing work behind them, decals, props. Service industry, containers, more vehicles, tons of Japanese railroad office branches used in various different configurations. Again, with more prop work. All behind them. Really stunning. One of our prison blocks here as well. This is an official prison. With their own detailed spaces at the back, places to sit, exercise, etc. Big clusters of the inmates here as well. We've also got the School of Medicine in the prison alongside campus dorms, which is always good. We've actually got multiple campus and unit buildings over here. Lots of tech campus stuff, a lot of the trade school. Does work very nicely with the prisons, doesn't it? You get a real impression of that right here. They do really serve as prison extension blocks, those dorms. A little construction site over here, machinery, bits of wood and metal waiting around to be processed into a build. Really fun design here again with the pedestrianisation and the software development studio. To sit very proudly in part of this prison. More blocks of dorms over here, and of course the whole thing is surrounded by this network prison fencing, which we used in ILOS, didn't we? That was a lot of fun, that. And then loads more concrete. Industrial service spaces tucked in. Like, there's not an inch of this build that's been left untouched, has there? Really, really fun. Also got another exit here as well, which is a nice way to use that, actually. I really like what you've done here. You've even used the toll road there, have you? As an exit. The sub-network from the toll booths. That's very clever. Look at this big fire rescue center as well. 2 of these depots with a helicopter spot. Bit of industrial evolution. Some of Athenia's amazing garbage processing assets. What's this? A little indoor football center, is it? Or basketball, I suppose. That's a great asset, that one, isn't it? Really like that. And just an amazing prison. Absolute beast, right? Super symmetrical again. Very well designed. Daniel clearly has a preference for these sort of big, dramatic, symmetrical designs, doesn't he? We've seen them all over the city. But really one of the more interesting prisons we've seen. Even more building site detailing along the back of the abandoned factory down here as well. Special. More emerging downtowns fills this district between prison and the Green Cities area we were looking at a moment ago. Which then brings us into quite an extravagant area where we'll also see our first airport, which looks amazing. We'll get into that. I will grab these stuff over here with more rock formations and more emerging downtowns. Suburbia with baseball pitches, big apartment blocks. Up to our first major industrial site, which is quite clearly a strip mine. Tons of parked vehicles, all dirty props and decals all the way around here. Even a little road closed sign detailing. That's so much fun, isn't it? I really like that. Not sure if the fence is supposed to be there. I imagine it looks like intersection marking fence, I imagine. Probably is. I imagine you're probably supposed to have that there, were you? I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe it is actually supposed to be closed like that. Well, this is great. Lots of dirt, props, everything you would imagine that comes out of an absolutely monstrous industrial mine which has been terraformed into the land. There's big sand piles over here as well. Tons more prop work. Possibly one of the most detailed industrial sites we've seen in City Showcase so far. If not cities as well, actually. Last episode's city was pretty incredible, but this is already giving it a good run for its money, I think. Lots of these red piles all around. More props. There's so much to discover at the bottom of this pit, isn't there? Big road going over lots of like fallen rock here as well, isn't there? Obliterated from mining. Maybe even got the sea mining vessel over here as well. A very extravagant bridge passing right over the top of the strip mine. Yeah, which is super cool. Another little industrial site here. Looks like another entrance into the strip mine itself. And takes you back down these roads. You've even got the old mines integrated in there. With extra buildings on them as well, of course. Really fun strip mine. And a huge scar in the earth as well, isn't it? Which sits next to a very landscaped European looking area. Which is an interesting alignment here, isn't it? Such a big transition of build. We have this big central mall design here in the suburb, which occupies this space where we were from the left hand side earlier. We'll see Statue of Industry with Plaza's Plaza. London Eye, Market Street with, you can see the frames here again, there's so many plants in here. But just centralization and symmetry is the order of Daniel's day, isn't it? So many fun designs here, so much inspiration as to how you can use official assets. Like even the little green cities markets there in the plaza, isn't that a really nice idea? Really fun. I think that different textured concrete is working nicely as well, isn't it, on the Seychelles theme? It really changes up the aesthetic of concrete space. Another campus unit building over here with very nice roundabout symmetry designs this way. And some European zoning kicking in, of course, in the classic Barcelona-esque superblock style for which this stuff is best utilised in. And then in amongst all this suburb, we'll see parks, schools. So many parks in the cities, and there's every little space has a park in it. Love these little recessed plazas. They're really nice, aren't they? Really fun, those. Don't use them often enough, actually. Then these European and emerging downtowns, which we saw last episode, didn't we? Or an episode before. We said that was actually quite a nice combo, European emerging downtown stuff. At this side of the suburb is European suburbia with emerging downtowns. Is a bit of a transition of height. All pretty nice, sensible stuff out here. It will also flow into some very obvious farm field work, which is happening with the countryside stuff, which looks awesome, doesn't it? A little back of the farmhouse opening up into these fields. I really like that. And of course, some mock field aesthetic. Same thing down here again as well. It's a very inspiring way to use countryside. And then another big one over here. Lots of false field aesthetic out this way, right? Really fun. Nature reserve passing through the middle of all these field structures. Very fun to see. Back in the city centre around the mall, we can see these blocks together as 4, which is a really nice way to use them. And a train station, also in the middle, which is getting 0 ridership, which is quite surprising. I haven't actually had a look at the public transit numbers. So, 1,700 residents a week and basically 6,000 tourists. Imagine that will just ebb and flow as we move around. Yeah, 0 on this. Do you actually have any public transit lines here, or is this just an intercity station? Yeah, I think this is just a quiet intercity station then. Optimized outside connections is on, so trains are very infrequent until they fill up. So I imagine that's probably why it's so quiet. Over here, the station opens up into the back of more parking with combinations of shopping malls and European high density. With our more European buildings, the City Hall and the Amsterdam Palace. That in a really nicely tiled square. This is such a cool way to use tiles, isn't it? Really like what you've done here. Even these little planters that are present. Really fun way to highlight those kind of municipal town centre buildings, isn't it? As yet more huge swaths of European suburbia and emerging downtowns complete the suburb. With a little amusement park tucked in down here as well, by the roads, with some really fun intersections happening. What an amusement park zoo combo also heads off the suburb. A little back-to-back monkey palace action always goes down well, doesn't it? And we have chessboards, flamingos, elephants, and benches. Everything that makes a good day out at the zoo. To complete a really interesting suburb. Across this side, back the other way of the train station, we'll see the processing for the ore industry site, which is storage, both warehouse and raw material. And some really nicely detailed rotary kilns. I love how you've aligned them here so they're like conveyors are touching. With lots of debris detailing, lined up trucks ready to head out on missions, containers, more piles and vehicles. Just so much detail to be had here, isn't there? Really, really fun. The domes, the cranes, and the coal piles. With a little bit of vanilla industry in here as well, to keep your production chains balanced. And that completes the storage, with another tooth excavator, which then drops us down onto what looks like maybe little vineyards. These are definitely farming assets down here, you can see the props in them. And this runs right by the highway, and what a cool, almost like a highway barrier we have here, right? Got fields, grass, road, grass median, road, more grass, rocks, and then industry. It's such a nice layering of, like, it just like cuts right through the middle of the district, doesn't it, the highway? Really cool sort of network design there, I really like that. Down towards this intersection, by the storage, we'll see some really elaborate things happening. Looks like one of the ploppable peanut roundabouts in here. You can actually come back through, I didn't know this until I placed it, but upgrade the road maths here, so there's 2 lanes in the middle. Helps them flow a little bit better on this one. I had to do it in Orchid Bay. But the train police, I think, will be very happy with that. Seems pretty sensibly graded to me. It goes in a couple of different directions. As we arrive, yes, another monstrous geometric suburb. I love the welcome home writing. That's so cool. That's such a nice touch for an airport, that, isn't it? Really fun. Either way, this suburb will pick it up from the main road, which is holding lots of bus, cycling, and tram infrastructure. As we see plenty more emerging downtowns. Little construction sites out in the suburbs here. Brooklyn and Queens also making its first appearance. And a pretty impressive main street, which culminates in this plaza, which is amazing. I absolutely love this. So we have bus and trams stopping at a hub, with lots of very important buildings. The School of Law is down these big tiled pedestrian districts again. With the Unicorn Park. Is that the first Unicorn Park we've seen in City Showcase? I think it might be. And there's African schools over here, more of those Toronto schools we saw earlier. And more emergency services with car parking. Big mall space over here. This is a great fusing, isn't it? Wow, look at that. So we've got vanilla commercial fused with wall-to-wall. That might be vanilla. I'm not sure what that building is. I think it is vanilla. It could be custom. More vanilla office fused with wall-to-wall. Isn't that such a fun like combination of assets? That's so cool. I've never seen anything like that before, really. It's like flowing complex of different things. Really nice. Back-to-back warehouses and really kind of bleed us into the airport here, which I'll definitely take a look at in a second. We'll finish this district first. Emerging downtowns mixes in with trams and hospitals. More little construction sites around here again too. And heading back the other way down this centralization strip. These big landscaped malls are everywhere. With these cute little palm gardens as well, aren't they nice? A human chirper is over here twice, God forbid, alongside the casino. With loads of tiles and market detailing all around it. So many parks, again, train lines passing over. Before our centralization tapers off to a little viewpoint. Overlooking a wonderfully blue watered lake. Isn't the water gorgeous in Seychelles theme? Really, really nice. And then this is all made up of emerging downtowns, shopping malls, unique supermarkets. Just a big, sprawling, high-density suburb yet again, isn't it? It really is. You see a tram coming down here. This is 3-speed simulation, by the way. This is what you get at 800,000 people. I've also got one on the malls over here too. More great integration of these little plazas on slightly awkward corners. Really just great building. Measured and planned, I think, is the take-home theme, isn't it? Lots more outer-lying suburbia occupies the areas off the main street as we continue heading down into a stadium in Green Cities development, seeing the African Library here. Arrowhead Park, of course, so probably the best stadium in the game, in my opinion. Super greatly integrated with the pathways, so people are walking all around the base of the arena, not just the front. I love to see that. Lots of concrete space, detailing chairs, benches and cafes and whatnot. And then we come into a little Green Cities high-rise development. It's more detail in between it. Plazas, statues of the moon, etc. And then big old football training complex here. This is certainly some kind of football campus, isn't it? Especially with all the museums, university vibes around here. Definitely a big sports complex. I love seeing these things. A football campus, if you like. Imagine where it's a local team trains. I'm quite looking forward to building one of these in Ilium, actually. Especially now I have the mods with Bad Peanuts assets available. I think that'll be quite a fun build. Fantastic. While we're over here, we'll also grab the other bit of... That's another centralized mall design. I love it. I love these things. That really cool angle here with the fountain plaza, with the little water jets in them as well. Before we come down into yet more immaculate tile work, I think I'm going to give Daniel the award of best tile work we've seen. It's absolutely everywhere. You've used them very well. And they're all in line as well, you know, like... They're not splitting off and making awkward cracks and gaps. Like, you've taken time with this. Another baseball park sits upon the beach with lots of beach activity. Sunbathing and volleyball to be precise. Which is very nice. And finishes off this campus here where we've also got the track and field. There's office down here. Really fun sports campus. Absolutely enormous as well, isn't it? Takes up a lot of this suburb. Green cities, paths and parks, I think, culminate into another little spot of green cities high-rise by another stadium over this way. With plenty of detailing to be had in all these little areas. And that'll bring us back around to the park and centralization viewpoint right earlier by these fake fields, for which there is also another one down here as well. To complete a really fun district. What a wonderful suburb, right? So much planning and detail gone into that. This whole area here as well on the left here. Which then drops us off at always some of my favourite bits of infrastructure to see in any city. The airport, where we're running a 4-runway setup, which is the biggest we've seen so far. And indeed, probably the biggest terminal on City Showcase. So let's get right in here. Oh, you've even got the signs for Athena City. Isn't that amazing? That's so cool. I really like that. Oh, those networks. Hello, train. Look at it go. Either way, toll booths beg us to come into the entrance to the airport where we'll find car parking and lots of branch offices. Really fun transit hub here. Although you're not using the train and the metro. Wonder why that is. Guess you just didn't need them, I suppose, but you wanted buses and the trams underneath, maybe. What is this? Is this an actual asset? This feels like it's fused. Yeah, it's the monorail tram hub, isn't it? I don't know why I'm thinking it looks like it's fused. Definitely has commercial fused into the front of it, which is a great way to use these buildings. And likewise over here, you've even node controlled your pathways down. Don't see that very often. Nice little detail. This combines with a monorail that then sits over here with the airline headquarters. Loads of people using your node controlled pathways. Let's get back into very cool. And then hotels kick in over here at the front of what is a super elaborate terminal front, right? This reminds me a little bit of Ilos's airport. But this is like to much more of an insane degree. Super landscaped, isn't it? These big key retaining walls holding this pond with more combination of zoned and placeable hotels at the foot of the terminal as well. Where we do arrive at that terminal where we'll see a monorail station, which has again no one waiting for it. I imagine we could also be hitting citizen pathing errors here as well. Because this city is so big and so old, the simulation has essentially all but collapsed. It's kind of a symptom that happens with late game CS1 builds really, especially when they're modded. But again, look at the detail in here. Right, there's not a single bit of this screen right here that's been missed, has there? Really nice work. Seriously, one of the most impressive terminal frontages I've ever seen. We've even got a monorail embanked on top of the terminal. Isn't that insane? Isn't that absolutely insane? I've never seen that before. I wonder how are they working here? Are they just walking out onto that pedestrian road? Where did they go? This isn't a custom asset, is it? No, yeah. I thought it might have been like a monorail terminal combo, but it's not. Where are they? Are they just leaving straight from the airport concourse? Does that work? This is very much confused me. Because they're not leaving the station here. I need a monorail to turn up. Here you go. So people are arriving at the station, but they're not arriving via the road, so they have to be arriving directly from the concourse. I had no idea that worked. That's pretty amazing. I definitely remember that. See, 4,000 hours, and you still see things you've never seen before. Really phenomenal, unless I'm totally misinterpreting how that's working. I think that's what's happening there. I also love to see node-controlled airport concourse, which is fantastic. Then the airfield itself is just a dream, isn't it? Absolutely enormous. A good chunk of the size of the city is airport, isn't it? Lots of detailing out here. Even overgrown little different textured bits between taxi and runway. Super cool. Loads of hangars, planes in different configurations. Containers. Looks like we're coming into a bit more of a cargo facility over here, doesn't it? Absolutely does. This is where we saw in that building earlier. Where you get more parked planes with loads of containers. Tons of containers. Airport refueling. Like, honestly, seriously, one of the best airports we've seen. I think it's so big into scale, isn't it? And look how far we are from the concourse over here by this main airport road. Here is the cargo terminal itself, which lies very happily in the corner of the airport here with medical unique sub-buildings. Very cool use of that asset. And same over here again as well with the sub-building of the disaster response unit. Factories, post-sorting. Really fun combination of like big serious industry, isn't it? More factories over here again. And all these little spaces in between them have just been detailed with props and so many interesting things. Even more of it over here as well, but we'll also see train import available by these networks coming back up to the entrance of the airport we saw earlier. Really, seriously, probably the best airport I think we've had on City Showcase. Aviation Police should be happy with this. Although I know they always criticise the length of the runways. Nice little air control unit out here as well. That's a great way to use your air control units. That looks so cool there, doesn't it? Little dedicated entrance road into it. So nice. And that comes onto a beach, which takes us back to the football campus we were on earlier. As we really see the size and scale of the airport. To the left of the airport, we'll also notice some things out here. It couldn't possibly be another centralized mall, could it? Of course. Of course it is. The business park with the Athena city right in. Looking out over the... Isn't that stunning? That is such a cool viewpoint. I'm sure that was many hours of planning, pain and practice, Daniel, to achieve this. Great sightline, perfect skyline. With the Athena city in there. I might even make that the thumbnail today, we'll see. And really fun fountain designs here as well. So much landscaping has gone into this build. And a really fun use of the business park. Park space, European suburbia. And the usual outer-lying sprawl we expect over here. Nice big city park in here as well, multiple different combinations. European suburbia, cycling and schools. There's a little bit of farming happening out here as well. Larger field spaces, barns, etc. And then we definitely have another town centre over here, don't we? And with the rise of Brooklyn and Queens, and also one of the Asian zoos. We'll see another Athena city sign. Right in the roundabout here. I wonder, is this an outside connection? It is. It does go back to the highway there. So Athena city again is here. With lots of fence work. And all this detail in here. Look at that. So much. You really, really like your emerging downtown stuff, don't you, Daniel? But I don't blame you. It's so versatile. You can use it anywhere, can't you? This is amazing. European suburbia. With their own beach gardens. Backing onto this wonderful sandy beach here. With even the functioning beach props, it looks like as well. As we see people actually enjoying the beach, which is always nice for immersion, isn't it? Up here, as we head out of the town centre, we love this street corner. Nice alignment of commercial buildings here. Also a bank. If I want to head up to the top over this way, as we can see something hilltop. Where we have a zoo. Lots of tropical gardens, more props from plazas, countryside also present here as well. Castle walls. Little nature reserve, museum, cafe thing. Yoga gardens. And a temple to sit very nicely atop, which I'm sure holds pretty incredible views. Especially that one there, right? That's probably the money shot there, isn't it? Into a super dense downtown district. Very nice. And that rounds off kind of this, I guess, southern half of the map. And we can now move across the highway and begin to explore this vast metropolis that lays before us. And we finally got the Bob file working after some troubleshooting with the city builder. And we can see the intended effects of those prisons now. And the buildings here as well, of course. Without the trees in the middle. Which is very nice. It's a great use of the sky bridge over in the prison. Before we cross over the highway to the area, there is a little bit we have missed over this way with the wonderful spa hotel configuration on the lakefront here. Really like this. All the pools in there, lots of shopping around it. Basketball courts. New little apartments. Great use of the Hearts of Korea apartment blocks there. They look really nice on a waterfront beach kind of setting, don't they? And that brings us back to the Statue of Industry earlier with all this green cities high-rise, plenty of concrete. You almost kind of get like a tile pattern, don't you, with this concrete texture on Seychelles theme. More dirt. And benches, of course, to be enjoyed. The highway really kind of cuts the city in half here, doesn't it? So we'll come out to this thing over here, which is definitely some sort of temple vibe, isn't it? We've got some small housing out here, but certainly the features a huge park area. Several of the Asian, Japanese, Korean temples all present. Tropical gardens, tons of landscaping. What a wonderful space. In another big central mall design. Absolutely love it. That's a really fun way to use some of these assets, isn't it? Little beachfront down here for kayakers on some whitewater rapids, it would seem. Really fun. Great use of the rocks all through your waterways across the map today as well. Green cities, bit of countryside, and further back garden hedge lining. That completes another little fun isolated district, for which there is many of. Seen a few of these little things today. We'll join a little country road here. That brings us down into some suburbia. Where do we even want to head here? This is a difficult choice. Let's kind of break it up. We'll use this arterial as the boundary to explore all this first. We'll see industries DLC farming blended in multiple combinations between livestock and crops. Lots of processing with relevant detailing, of course. Workers' barracks in big repeated patterns. That works really nicely here, actually, doesn't it? The countryside cafe. Or is that one of the mountain village ones? It's one of those packs, isn't it? I always confuse those two together. And then countryside DLC, of course, present out here. Seaside resorts, buildings. Big fields behind them, love this. Can possibly see Orchid Bay inspiration here with the Seaside Resorts farmhouse repurposing, maybe. And a really fun use of countryside DLC. We saw this in the last city as well. I'd really like to see how everyone's putting the countryside stuff to use. Love that. Processing buildings here. And big European suburbs centered around a mountain lodge. Parks. Tons of parks. There's so many parks in the city. Absolutely everywhere. Isn't this a fun combination? So we've got a slaughterhouse here, like right by a train station. But it works, doesn't it? I've never really seen that asset combination before. Especially with the library there too. But it works, doesn't it? Because it doesn't particularly scream slaughterhouse, does it, this asset? It just looks more like generic farming. Especially this particular building doesn't really look farming either, does it? I think it works. I really like it, actually. I'll have to maybe explore some repurposing of the slaughterhouse asset, see what we can do with it. And some really nicely shaped concrete space here as the rail peels away. You've got the old train traffic bug, of course. Another symptom of late game modded CS1 builds. It just happens. Insane train ridership here. This is 3-speed, by the way. You can see it doesn't make too much difference at 800,000 people, which is to be expected. Down here. wonderful little detailed plaza space on the back side of the train station, which has all been made walkable with pathways. Really fun space. Bio towers, big farm towers also present here too. What a fun farm district. This peels off over there, but I can't help but pay attention to this. An enormous nuclear plant present with tons of cargo processing, lots of trains coming and going here. Office building, we've got medical laboratories fused with offices, custom buildings in here. More kind of like reflection pools. That's such a nice design, that, isn't it? With the rocks and the keys and the fountain jets. Gorgeous, Daniel. So cool, mate, honestly. Really nice, that. The Japanese office buildings fused into these, what I'm going to assume are reactor buildings all the way back here, right? These are really cool custom assets. I'll show you what you are if you're interested, because I know someone, of course, will be. It's this nuclear reactor stuff here. By Ronix, of course, super popular creator. And there you go, the Dole nuclear power plant. Is the pack being used here to create this, if you're wondering. And it's gorgeous, isn't it? Really fun to see some custom power station assets present in the city showcase. Surprisingly enough, a lot of the submissions we get aren't too asset heavy. Some of them are, but not all of them. And all these buildings here, and it's so cool, isn't it? You've even used like the oil terminals, like it's like a transformer vibe, or some sort of electricity substation. I guess that's what they are. Oh, that's such a cool repurposing of the vanilla industry, that. Very nice, Daniel. The little 1x1 industrial units make perfect transformers, don't they? Got some of Avania's functioning sort of warehouse container things over here. More oil and another cooling tower with another reactor building. Incredible. Really cool. This then peels across many canalways into another port, which is filled with these big container ship props. Loads of sewage work, I'm guessing that is, isn't it? Custom sewage assets. Water towers. Fantastic. Big container yard at the back of your service points. That looks awesome. Service points make really nice port buildings, don't they? I certainly have to remember that for Ilium. They're quite repurposable, these service points. Especially the bigger ones. Tons of more sewage processing over here in endless combinations. You also see the trains coming around here as well. Great little corners. Great layering. Just great design, Daniel. Really, really nicely designed. We'll grab this area before we head further into the port, which is more huge swaths and detailed blocks of emerging downtowns and water wall. Put all this stuff behind the blocks there. Love to see it, don't you? Just adds so much, I think, to the grand visual, doesn't it? This neighborhood loves its basketball, doesn't it? There's a basketball court every block for them. You love to see it. A bit more of the Hearts of Korea. I'm pretty sure the Hearts of Korea assets, aren't they? I'm sure they are. To make up these big seafront homes with more detailed beach. Lots of palm vibes. More shopping, parking. Fun and games for all, everyone. Dissipates into a bit European suburbia here. As we discover a pathway back up to the big temple district we saw earlier. With another little micro port. Quite tasteful, the total opposite of what we've just seen. Bit of parking, a branch office, and containers and a fire station. Nice little local port, that. Quite tastefully done. Very nice. And then that bridges back up to that temple district as well. Phenomenal. What a port build here. Let's check out the other side of the power station from where we started at the train station by the reflecting pool. Much more car parking. I love that entrance. Isn't that gorgeous? That's so cool. Really like that. Real sense of facility, isn't it? Is how I like to refer to it. All boarded off and detailed around the back too. Fantastic. What assets are these? I myself am perhaps curious. These are business park administration buildings. Okay. Buy Senf Corn on Steam if you're interested in them. Very nice indeed. Make great kind of fusible blocks, don't they? I love the step up in the roof here as well. That's not gone unnoticed. Tons more immaculate tile work sits at the front. Where will arrive a big kind of retaining wall reservoir, which I really like. That's very cool. And that's such a great just feature for your landscape, isn't it? Nice shaper for your arterial roads to follow as well. Supreme. I mean, really, really good. We'll stick into the port side of things. This whole industrial area is just enormous, isn't it? My word. Let's come over here. Vast amount of car parking. Right by that car factory with, of course, parked cars. Containers. The actual ploppable car factory unique rather than the actual factory, but part of the same complex with warehouses and lots of container yards. The industrial steel plant is over here as well, along with more warehouses, ship props, some floating trees, perhaps. That's really cool, isn't it? How much do the ship props just add to the visual of an industrial port, right? We've got 2 refineries with tons of oil storage. There's airplane fuel tankers in here as well. Just so cool, isn't it? So big, so grand, so industrial. Like, look at that landscape. Loads of mad rail networks going on here as well, into rail yards, rail warehouses. Just gorgeous. So much fun. There we go. We can see a train pass by. All those hundreds of hours that I've gone into that scene, right? All the rock detailing here, the fencing. Just fantastic. Little bit of traffic through here. That's okay. It is an industrial port. I'd be surprised if there wasn't, to be honest. And another oil refinery with tons of workers' barracks in this one. I love that little overgrown bits of wasteland between the major sites. Very cool. And then just so much industrial detail to breathe in. Little container cranes. The actual big boy container cranes by the port here. With these big bulk carriers, container ships. More cranes and keys, and so much fun to be enjoyed. A little bit of lunch detailing down here for port workers. Look at that in container visual, isn't that awesome? I hope you're submitting this build for Spice of the Month, Daniel. Over in the Discord. A monthly build of competition, by the way. Come and join us for that. Great use of the airport roads here as well. Has to be said. Railway like that. And then more of these big Maersk container ships. So cool. Very, very awesome. Oh, the toll gate at the front as well. It's just vast, isn't it? It's so big. Maybe the biggest industrial port we've had on City Showcase, I think. I think so. Possibly. And even more down here as well. We'll also see the functioning container yards. For the game's deliveries. With the electronics factory and a couple of functional mining cranes. Fantastic. I haven't forgotten about this peninsula. Over by the emerging downtowns and water treatment districts. We'll have a train station in here. We've got plenty of people waiting, and also manoeuvring around a really fun plaza design. Yet more immaculate detailing. Into another big central, another big, more design. What else could it possibly be? I adore it. Really fun fountain patterns all around the back of these apartment blocks, right? There's so much time gone into this, Daniel. I should know, because I've essentially built it along with you on Patreon messages. He's been so excited to show this off, and I can absolutely see why. So much fun, and again, the power of plot the grow balls, everyone. That was pretty prevalent last episode, wasn't it? And the combination of different styles and districts. Wall-to-wall shopping malls. Just so nice. really nice planters there as well. I love those planters. Love this little central strip here. Death care, high-tech buildings, more insane tile work. And one of my favourite Korea buildings. That asset works really nicely on the corner there, doesn't it? So this huge mega hotel, entertainment park, little kind of peak K marina. Oh, is it a peninsula? Where is it, isn't it? Maybe? Geography please will let us know. And big deluxe hotel, which is always such a bold asset, isn't it? But this is a bold peninsula. And a little cul-de-sac pedestrian road to round it all off at the edge. It's absolutely fantastic. Lots of pools, rock detailing, all along these outcrops, all keyed off. With a little ferry system, which is getting some really nice use. You'd love to see that, don't we? Ilium currently experiencing busy ferry traffic. I am part of the ferry police at the minute. Recent recruit. I love it. What an absolutely monstrous industrial port. Probably the biggest we'll ever see, I think. I think it'll be a long time before we see an industrial port bigger than that. Because that's just absolutely vast. There's so much in there, from the nuclear plant, all the container, the oil, sewage works over here. Like, it's enormous. So cool. Joining the highway, we'll see a wonderful little simple slip ramp interchange. And then we'll traverse down this arterial past the industrial we just passed. We'll see more really coolly decorated networks, fantastic layers here. A little bit of metro swerving out and kicking back over the road here. Look at that arterial sightline there. Just take a little dash down this. I think maybe we should. Just enjoy the sights and sounds of what is a really wonderful build. I was saying last episode that it's going to be a while before that city was beaten. And Daniel Jepson has produced an absolute diamond of a build to immediately follow up to that one. Love to see it. You guys are so talented. That's what I love about this series as well. Like, there's so many hours of love and care gone into this, and if it wasn't for these videos and submissions, not many people would see these builds. And it's such a shame because I'm sure there's many more of them. Look at all this to get stuck into later on. Insane. The city is so well laid out. Anyway, back to where we were. Where there is also a mall here, the Mall of Marvels appears, with plenty of parking roads, which I absolutely adore these assets. They're so good for real estate parking. Much better than the vanilla placeables. The metro station also features a stop here, with apartment blocks all around it. Where we see more, like, look at the network plan in here, everyone. Little city showcase round of applause for all of this. That's just incredible design. So much patience, you know. Also coming into another airport hub here. I didn't even notice another airport. Holy smokes. And then also a bit more of that industrial port action. Over here as well by the oil. Arriving at, yes, indeed, another airport. With Athena City right up front and centre. Just the design. The patience, everyone. I adore it. It's so good. Port terminal here with a slightly smaller airfield, just a single runway this time. But again, a really nice configuration. Great detailing. Great spot for the Sahara Conference Centre as well. Really like that. Oh, this is a wonderful car park work. Fencing, the keys, the little fuel depot at the end here. That's so nice, isn't it? Great use of the industrial assets there. Really fun little airfield. Really like that. This brings us into kind of the next bulk of city here. We'll explore this little block of land over this way. Where again we're going to see emerging downtowns. Even a little mini zoo tucked in there as well, with some really interesting layers happening around rock walls and bridges. That's really fun. A big retaining wall layer here as well by the train. For vanilla, Brooklyn and Queens makes up a big block of high density housing. You definitely have similar. I think it's just because the city is so big and there's so many citizens, that citizen cap is spread out across a large area, which is why your streets look so quiet. Ilos had a pretty similar problem toward the end because everyone was so spread across the map. And it made everywhere feel quite quiet, unless it was like a super busy hub, of course. This is definitely suffering the same problem. But really fun combinations. There's so much in here. Shops with Shibuya for the first time. In with emerging downtowns and Brooklyn Queens. So much to take in there, isn't there? Real fun high density district. A lot of different styles at play. Green Cities reappears in its majesty. Love our fused Green Cities blocks. And then another marina arrives with a big centralized design with the Sahara Center. Library with yet more those symmetric detailing. Great use of these assets. I haven't really used this one yet. This fun little park. The Shops with Shibuya one. I see a couple of those in there. And then this. Such a cool dominant building that, isn't it? And you've surrounded it with just endless custom parking greenbelt, which has all the prop work in the world through it. Love those little statues under the water. That's a really fun way to use them. Brilliant. Expanded cafe detailing. And amongst all these super landscaped gardens. Very fun. Across on this peninsula we'll find a stadium at another rounded tip with vast amounts of high density population around here. Big green cities, towers in the middle, wall-to-wall residentials. Schools. Really love the change up in shape of keys as well. That isn't lost on me. Almost like access down to the water, right? Really nice use of those. These big old blocks of emerging downtowns again. Fantastically inspiring. Great use of the stairs there as well. So cool, right? Even the keys are detailed. We've got tons of, we've got one of the hot air balloon rides in there, some really nice node control junctions appearing as some very bright, overexposed sun reflection there. That main road snakes through. We'll see tons more green cities. Which brings us back to that little block we were at a moment ago. Taking us up onto this little area. Where we'll see more industry blended very close to residential here. The train station also present. We'll also see a building site that's so cool. So one of these in Rich's City. And they're absolutely awesome. They're such realistic additions to a build. So new towers in the process of being built and it's all detailed down here. All your usual construction props. Really fun. I love to see those assets. Just fantastic. Over by this way we'll head towards this side of the arterial now. So you can see why you've hit 800,000 population, can't you? This is definitely where most people are living. I think there's so much high density around here. It's a shame we can't really see it in action because it's all spread out across the city to the citizen cap and the path cap. Like, you can't really see the full extent of just how many people are living here because of the limitations of the engine. It's a shame because, like, you know, CS1 players can see how much high density there actually is here. There's so much of it. It's all so well combined, isn't it? We'll also stumble across another little combo zoo here, which features botanical garden, amusement and zoo assets. With yet more high density boarding goes back to the car factory we saw a moment ago. Alongside the Green City suburb. Little back-to-back blocks. And then the soft paper factory combined with pulp mills, which is a great little combo here. Sunset Harbour recycling, container yards, more prop work. In between those containers, another Athena City sign. Just in case you forget where you are. You're in Athena City. Big stretch of industry here. Really nice forestry area. Also always love the aesthetic of piled logs, especially in these builds. Again, with all the networks just immaculately planned, recessed and coming down different gradients. Just planning is clearly a strong point for you, I think, isn't it, Daniel? Big lemonade factory through here. Flour mill on a corner is a really nice positioning. I love that. That looks really kind of old, grubby industry, doesn't it? That orientation. I really like that, actually. I will see the slaughterhouse again. I don't want to get too far down here. Don't want to get distracted. We'll cross over this bridge interchange to see the forestry growing area. Over here, just across from the highway. Nice central processing building with storage. I like that. Really fun. Fantastic. Let's reposition ourselves here. And then we'll see what we'll grab next. I think maybe we'll finish everything in this belt here, right? And then we can grab the highway belt into this last section. It's probably the best approach with these. These city showcases are getting longer, everyone, but you guys are building absolutely vast things, and hopefully you don't mind the longer city showcases. I think if we're going to show these cities off, right, we might as well show them off properly. I want to follow this train belt because I can see this arrives at a central station. There's many different train lines are all converging here. Really fun. Big central station with busy platforms. Hopefully this is walkable as well so they can come out the back here. I hope so. And then big train frontage. That's such a nice design, isn't it? Circles of plants. Plaza of Death. Always a good time to be had at the Plaza of Death. And then this centralization continues down. With parks, plazas. So many parks as well. All of which is flanked and surrounded by green city suburb between car factory and forestry. Little double school combo here as well. Always nice one, that, isn't it? Really just a great amount of fun. Really, really nice. And we can also see this big retaining wall layer here as well, which I really like. And following this train line down, we'll get a perspective of what's going on here as we pass by all these super planned bits of the city. Look at the little train switchover systems here as well at play. Like really fun train and well, station entrance with all the networks there. Isn't that fun to watch? As they transition different lines depending on their destination. Really nice. Wall to wall, shopping mall uniques in varying different combinations. Big shipping containers as the green city suburb continues to grow out and expand. Coming over here, we'll rejoin those factories again, which are made up of production right nearby. There's actually fields here next to all the factories, warehouses, more malls. Ton of factories down this way. Emerging downtown is also present by a little lake here, which is part of a little zoo. Tucked into a little block of terrain present by the highway. Real nice. There's that big elevated highway sliding right through the middle, right? It's very dramatic, that, isn't it? Amazing. Crossing that highway barrier, we'll arrive into some really nice... This reminds me quite a lot of China. These fused big dramatic concrete tower blocks with more custom lakes, highway interchanges right nearby, great trumpet system. Shopping, ponds, parks. Usual expected. Annual detailing at this point, right? Great spaces to discover between the towers. Another little mall, shopping mall combination here. Great combination of assets, that. The European supermarket and the two uniques from King Leno's pack. I really love this facility here. I might steal this, actually. I really like that. Here. Great fusion of apartment blocks again. More schools. Seeing that other Athena city sign we saw by the airport earlier here as well. So we also see a university city district. Such a shame this one doesn't have its own district style on PC. It does on console for some reason, but not PC. Yeah, because you have to, if you're playing without plot the grow balls, you have to rely on spawns, which is a pain. And then more. Emerging downtowns as we arrive up here to all the networks again, which are all crisscrossing over one another, aren't they? Isn't that fantastic? As they join into the airport and the business park arch we were at a moment ago. And again, another centralized mall design. Just have this big arterial sightline. The metro stops here. As we also see the train pass by that layer there as well. Isn't that fancy? Really cool. Shopping malls from various different DLCs and parks, plazas and promenades, vanilla. King Leno stuff is present with frames are taking a hammering here with so many plants. How many plants are in here? Probably quite a lot. But I adore the landscape gardens, isn't that a fun pattern? Ziggurat Garden is also with us. Just breathe it in. Such a fun city to look at, isn't it? Incredibly green as well. You managed to squeeze in quite a lot of green, but I guess a lot of your residential is high density. You can probably reclaim a little bit of that land. Train police will get you for that one, Daniel. I guarantee it. They will get you for that. But beyond that, I do really love the train corridor that splices just through the middle of the city. It's very nicely laid out. Tons of fun. Over here we're going to see lots of vanilla housing repeated. Custom car parking by further stadia. Which brings us up to the front of that train station. That's definitely a custom asset, that one. Really nice. It looks like one of Smiley's apartments, actually. But it would be. Pretty sure this is the same creator that made Emerging Downtowns, you can tell, can't you? And then a really nice bus terminus at the front of the station with clock tower accompaniment. And tons more detail and landscaping with plazas and promenades, perhaps. Just a really fun bit of the city, right? There's so much in there. It's so densely packed into all this space. Circular park in the roundabout with ponds, parking and castles. Which brings us back to those airport entry roads. The China housing is what I'm going to call it. Very nice. Just quite taken aback by the scale and the density, Daniel. It's just awesome to look at. There's so much to see here. Rejoining the arterial by the oil, we'll come into this slice of the city here now, right? We'll see what's going on. Blocks of emerging downtowns combined with metro, again, more excellent complementary layer work here. Really, really fun, that, isn't it? We have more big, super important arterial sightlines. Metro flanking it. I just love it. It's just so much fun. I've got this little snaking train line that comes under here. We get more Green Cities apartment blocks back up to that construction site we saw earlier. So if you ever need Green Cities inspiration, this is the city to come to, isn't it? Isn't that fun? I've never seen that before, using the circular apartment blocks as like bookends to a block of apartments. That's so modernistic, that, isn't it? Pretty much every Green Cities asset present, little bike or bus roads. Passing and cutting through all of this as it drops down into another marina, which is all retaining wall with pedestrian road here. Look at that. The layers and the planning to get this all to come together. You're clearly very talented with the mods, Daniel. You know exactly how to use them. A lot of hours in CS here, I think. This brings us back to that little industrial site we were at earlier, but I love the marina here, especially with the fishing boats moving around. Love that. Really nice. And then even more of it down here as well. Love the Sphinx. Hard asset to use that one, but you've put it quite fun in a little, very colourful area. We've also got parking roads present in the save. I love these assets. We have these in Dacia. Love those. And with little park spaces. Look at that detail in there. That's so nice, isn't it? Just in between a little block of flats like that. Which brings us down to another beach, which has custom assets down here on the front, convention centres, schools, hotels, and tons of wall-to-wall and pedestrianisation. Seaside resort assets, going into Brooklyn and Queens and Green Cities for using this side of the marina. We've seen this side here, which comes to a head with more marinas, more great plan to work all the way down. It's just such a nice city to look at, isn't it? Really, really do adore it. Over here, we'll come in to join up where we left off by the train station, capturing more of those bookend green cities design. Great use of the stadium here with the pedestrian pathway. Lots of paths around it, right by the metro line as well here. That's out the front of the station. Great little tram terminus here as well. Turnaround points, splitting off in a couple different directions. We got just so much detailing, like you can just glance between the buildings. Every little space between a building has a park in it, basically. Not an inch has been untouched, has it? Big old blocks of Brooklyn and Queens with great repetitive pedestrian and plaza designs here. Bringing us up to what I see is the Copper Bowl Arena, one of my favourites in the game. With plenty of public transport to support it, we got metro, buses all converging here. We also rejoin that big, curvy, sexy pedestrian road that swoops down, love that. And this sits here, all landscaped. Appropriate car parking for a stadium, right? The big downtown views from here. We've even done some gate detailing. That's so cool. Love that. Really fun area. And this, I mean, this whole waterfront is basically just an absolute chunk of residential and park space, isn't it? It's endless combinations. More great beach work down here as well. Little detailed coves. Fun ILO screen cities apartment styles. Love it, the metro cutting through and over the retaining wall there. Look at that. Isn't that so dramatic? Bringing us back down onto that marina. With a little bit of European vibes in here as well around this next marina. We can also see modern art museum. Some custom condos with skyscrapers, buildings, green cities and modern city centre. With vanilla unique buildings. Really fun marina space. Love what you've done with this. Big retaining wall kind of cuts this next section of the city off, doesn't it? Which takes us back from the waterfront more toward those stadiums in Brooklyn and Queen districts, where I'm quite keen to explore another campus. I guess the other campus was a prison technically there, wasn't it? But this is the first. The centralized mall design, with reflecting pools of course. And I absolutely love this road design here with the campus stuff. Cycling roads flowing through, otherwise everything else is pedestrianised. Really fun, effective layout, Brooklyn and Queens integrated within it. Really nice, sits very proudly against all this arterial infrastructure, doesn't it, right? Big corner orientations here. Love that. Unique buildings, of course, with the sky bridge respected. To cut it under, don't you? What a fun university campus. Immaculate. Clean and precise. Love the School of Economics all centralised here. Very cool. The Tinderbox Stadium is also here with more parks and lovely green belt around it with the theatre. And some more centralisation at play out the other side of that metro station by the Copper Bowl. Which drops us back at that marina again. More large assets also present the Opera House and a basketball arena. With a detailed tram depot here with appropriate parking. Again, the layers are just endless and to be enjoyed, aren't they? Look at this little slip system here into the downtown off the highway. So good. With a little zoo here as well. With more back-to-back monkey house action. Plazas. Residential right up alongside against all these layers of retaining wall, road, path, highway road. Little cycling couplet system here as well, splits off with more really cool shaped concrete spaces. So nice that, isn't it? I love it. And over here we have a really cool use of the communication center from the Africa Pack. Yeah, the central circularization really works there, doesn't it? Likewise with the other Africa building as well. Very nice. We are verging on downtown here, so let's begin to show downtown some appropriate respect as we approach the skyline from campus and these baseball stadia over here. And our skyline is mainly made up of the usual skyscrapers content creator pack with some custom residential assets in here as well. Just take a bit of a scan around. Yeah, there's some more custom towers. So much landscaping to enjoy around here, right? Love this. This little angle cutting across the pond. Really great use of water across the city. And with a big centralized road that does curve off a little bit, but I kind of like that. Seeing through so much detailed space. Simply brilliant. Loads more around here. All this tile work. Just incredible. Keep going down the central road. Sightline that I'm sure has been prepared over many hours. Another campus unique building as part of your city centre. Excellent choice. The Japanese metro station. Water wall. So many people walking around here. Up and down this big main road which finally drops us off at the beach. What a wonderful little crawl, right? That's so much fun. This side of the Green Cities towers will see aquatic centres. Lots of respect paid to the bottom of these main towers with walkable pathways either side. Definitely seeing the bulk of our people in downtown here. Some skyscrapers fusing as well. Do you know what's so weird? I was literally thinking about this sort of thing today for Ilium's downtown. A fusing of big and large towers. And then I see it in the city showcase. That really works, that one as well, doesn't it? Really changes up the shape of the asset. Tons of parks. Again, lots more respect around the bottom of these massive towers. Likewise over here before we stumble across that rail trench again too. A little bit of downtown admin here. There's like shopping centres, tram depots. At the other side of that central station, which also converges with metro, and then the other Athena city sign. That joins up with the main arterial through town. But it's just a really stunning inner city space, isn't it? Great parking alignments again by your service points here. Just nice park detailing as the entrance to the zoo. This little expanded pond and park space. Back to back high schools. More service point parks. It's a really nice combination, isn't it? Service points and car parking go really nicely together. And more campus unit buildings. 3 of them actually as part of your downtown skyline city centre area. So we've got another little plaza tucked in here as well with another tram interchange as part of the city centre. Another bus hub there too. Just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But that brings us back to that circular design. We will also see another campus main building, which has had a lot of detail put into the front of it here. You even see the bollards. Love, love, love to see the bollards. And this just bends all the way around. Down and around. Into this big canal that cuts pretty much through the city centre here, doesn't it? I think it does. Bringing the big road across. And then the second half of the skyline really, which is made up of more skyscrapers, towers. We've got wonderful little detailed plazas around the bottom there too. Just it's hard to spot a space that hasn't been touched, hasn't it? It really is like that. This reminds me a little bit of Rannoch, maybe. This might be Rannoch inspired with the central tower and then the things off the side. Maybe. And look at this little crisscross pedestrian path design there. Great detailing out the front. It doesn't stop. The frames are taking a hit here again as well. We'll buy lots of custom trees. Just no words needed. That's pretty much that simple, isn't it? Just the crisscrossing networks. The IMT here as well. Little centralized plaza designs there. At the front of the tax office, or the city hall, I think that one is, isn't it? All this park space continues down. Before we catch the rest of the skyline, which is custom assets, a little bit of financial districts in here as well. Wall to wall. IT cluster. I love this. This is really cute. Little bridge section of tram road. It's really nice. Again, more great use of water that we've seen several times across the city today. That's brilliant. Simply gorgeous, stunning skyline that sits really proudly as part of the map, doesn't it, right? Get a bit of a sight line here. So cool. It is a really nice map mountain taper, isn't it? Really quite a lot of fun. Another construction site sits here by some more of that kind of China fused housing we have by the rail trench. As the rail really diverts off here again, doesn't it, into this big end-of-line terminus station. Again, with so much really cool rail work. Hopefully the train police will be pleased today. Besides that one ramp, I know they won't like that. But that's fine. Everything else looks really cool. Of course, my favourite asset, the glass box train station, is here. With, of course, lots of centralisation directly at the front statue of wealth. Other plazas, trams and buses. My goodness, everyone. Of course, always a fan to see this asset in use. And it's fronted by a spa hotel, Japanese hotels here. More tile and plaza work and malls and shopping and tram convergence. Great stuff. Love the steps down to the beach. That's such a fun way to use the keys, isn't it? With the big ones at the side and then these little small ones. So cool. Parking all behind another block of emerging downtowns and another stepped tiered beach with the aquarium. Music venue stuff also present here as well, with unique buildings, rock walls, and this big cool central design for the observation tower, which I'm sure has very good views across the whole of Athena city from here. More excellent use of water as networks crisscross over in different bridge segments. Little wavy tram line through the green belt, I love that. Very fun. And then park assets surround it as we come back to that city hall stuff from earlier, with lots more high density housing fused together in never-ending combinations. Daniel's an excellent example of how not to run out of ideas of residential, isn't he? Brilliant stuff. Crossing the other side of the rail trench, we'll come across more of these residential designs with more design strips. Absolutely love to see it, Daniel. This time holding the pyramid of safety in amongst an extremely landscaped park, with trees to murder your frames for days. The green cities in there as well. Lots of repetitive plaza design. Little countryside props also present there, alongside the pyramid of safety, which has been very nicely respected with pedestrianisation. I love what you did with this, actually. I should have done that in Ilium. Why didn't I do that, actually? That's such a nice idea, Daniel. I might actually change that out in Ilium for what I did. I really like that. That's an area with the pyramid of safety. We'll also see the metro slicing through this area before we see the cathedral. Out in a big landscaped area here. Little custom graveyards, so cool. Gazebo and bench around the cathedral, with more graveyards to be had. Emerging downtowns. I really want to get this off of that, yeah. 2 trains heading off out of the city, isn't that so fun? 3 trains heading out of the city. That's so cool. Love to see that. There's big emerging downtowns, all scythed up by wall-to-wall and metro as it crisscrosses in endless combination. More central plaza strip design here up to the Glass Eye Arena, which is one of my favourite assets in the game. Love to see this. I bet we get some good skyline views from here, don't we, if we were to take a seat ourselves. Maybe just over this side of the arena, right? Yeah, look at that, isn't that awesome? Great sight lines to the city centre from here. Around the metro, you can see that. Fantabulous, isn't it? It is both fantastic and fabulous. With a wonderful ring of pedestrian road to respect the shape of the arena, of course. With parks and football pitches around it, shopping. Plenty of parking. A little bit of layering action here. As we swoop down into another high density waterfront with lots of palm gardens on the roads here. And the first passenger terminal we've seen so far. Right, with lots of detail and tiles all around the back of this space. Up to the music club at the tip of the little island here. Which again I'm sure has superb views. Back across to the city centre over there, doesn't it? We will grab... Where are we here? Let's come back to these big red tree-lined streets where we were in this central plaza. And we'll discover the old school campus. I really love this one. With loads of nice plazas, extended tiles. Holy smokes, everyone. Isn't that nice? The School of Law is here. With a biodome in the middle. Isn't that such a unique aesthetic? Heading down into Brooklyn and Queens districts over here. Bordering on the green cities we saw earlier. There's custom schools in here. Track and field. Student baseball. Or varsity baseball, rather. And a very red chess club. For some reason. Obviously, weird colour is at play. I wonder what the choice between the very red chess club was, Daniel. A reference to something, perhaps? Maybe. The Central Park, also in a campus, works really nicely, doesn't it? Don't hate that at all. You can even really get away with just the sub-building partnered in front of the main building, which I think I'm probably going to do for Ilium's now I've just had that thought process. Because I've got a plan for this campus to introduce the Peanut Bowl into it, make it a very kind of like old historical institution. For which the Central Park inspires me toward that. Big dorm vibes, back up to the baseball stadium. And over here we disperse into European suburbia. Main Street is lined with more residential. More farms, a little bit of livestock out here. Another Athena city sign on the approach into the city here, which I'm sure is another brilliant screenshot, isn't it? Oh, should we get a bit of that? Should we wait for a train? One's on its way. Brace yourselves, everyone. There it is, right? That is the money shot. Brilliant. Fantastic view. Another little peanut about over here. And this hooks into that road back to the other side, doesn't it, over here? Yes. By the little hilltop temples. This is where we're arriving over here now. So we'll follow this arterial down to more high density districts. Great little school campus here in and amongst the fields. I really like this setting. There's little rock retaining walls as well. We're playing with definitely some layers here. The map is not flat by any means. And Daniel's done a fantastic job of integrating all the layers here. There's been pretty much no awkward terrain, has there? Big pedestrian beachfront with more Hearts of Korea. Pools, ponds and recreation. Love this little square park with all the little windy little concrete bits coming off of it. It's so nice, that. Great integration to that stadium as well, I think, isn't it? Superb. High density city culminates with a train station converging with tram. Great use of the official plaza. Especially up into this little bit here between the parkways there. Really like that. Lots of high density residential action along the waterfront to be enjoyed. Before Green Cities makes a triumphant return as the low density dissipates. Great back of commercial detail in here. Love this space. Love to see things like this taken care of. I think it in particular makes quite a difference to the rail line, doesn't it? This particular visual here is very impressive. Right, really nice stuff. And Green Cities Residential is very tree heavy as it dissipates into fields, back into wilderness, and then beyond as we reach the edge of this bit of the city. Before we finish, this little hilltop island, or hilltop on the mainland, rather. We'll also see some billionaires' homes down here. I imagine this is Rannoch inspired. We also had a Rannoch inspired billionaires' home last episode as well, which is quite fun. But that's certainly what this is, right? And a great use of the mountain village assets. Really fun. Nice way to use them, isn't it? And you've done a great job of it here as well. Big, rich seafront billionaires' homes. Maybe luxury apartments as well. Really fantastic. That takes us back to the beachfront over here with more pool detailing all around here. At the top, we have a castle combo, both ruined hotel and monument versions, with parks and detailing all around the front. A little retaining wall action in there too. This snakes up the hillside to a cafe and a playground before arriving at another ruined castle, which is complemented with this huge seaside resorts garden. This has this has to be New York inspired, I think, does it? It looks kind of like the garden to a much better execution. I would like to add to that, but it does look a bit like New York's estate with its viewpoint there. Oh, is that the thumbnail today? It's gonna be a tough choice, I think. The thumbnail in today's episode. But incredibly well landscaped gardens as a bit of a country estate using the seaside resort stuff. The frames are dying over here with the plants. Even like a little infinity pool looking out over the entire city from here. Simply fantastic. Really, really nice. This then finishes at the observatory with the science centre, cafe and some car parking. Has a fantastic little hilltop installation next to this super impressive parkland here. Great way to use a hilltop, and there's even multiple layers happening here, isn't there? So extremely well executed. What a build that is. I'm going to maybe assume some New York inspiration there. You'll have to let me know, Daniel, if this was, or if this was just totally out of the box. But just phenomenal execution of it, has to be said. Such a nice design all the way through here. Brilliant, mate. Really, really like it. We'll also take a little fly down this highway as well to notice those crisscrossing networks we pointed out right at the start of the showcase. Hopefully the train police will be into this. Maybe not that one there. They'll get you for that again, Daniel. What's that? This is great, isn't it? All kind of crisscrosses here over the highways. Trains coming and going from this little retaining wall section here as well with the cargo station. All wrapping around a real waterfront themed zoo over here. And that backs onto those mall spaces we were at a moment ago. But truly, another quite breathtaking build, of which several hundred hours has gone into a build like this. Really quite masterful, Daniel. And like I said, he's been messaging me on Patreon this whole time he's been building it. Super excited to have it on City Showcase finally. And I can see why. You've put a lot of heart and soul into this. I said last episode that that city might be the best we've had. I think this one could even be a push better, if not maybe definitely on par. The last two submissions have been crazy good. And it's such a pleasure to show these cities off. Sorry this video was so long. It's probably over an hour and a half, I think, by the time I've edited this all down. And hopefully I don't think you mind the longer showcases. As you know, if we're going to show them off, we might as well spend some time here. So let me know if you are enjoying them or not. I'll try to keep them a bit shorter if they are a bit too much. An enormous shout out to the patrons and YouTube members that bankroll these videos, with a roll call to our golden patron eggs: Casino, Spartan Angel, Michael W, Bad Wolf, Louis Adlam, Phoenix MD, Blythe, Jamin, and Great T. If you want to get involved in that, links down below to Patreon Instant Gaming, best ways to support the channel. And don't forget, if you want to have your work featured on the next episode of City Showcase, please keep the submissions coming. It's so nice to see so many of you, and just how talented you all are. Some seriously incredible building in this series. Enjoy the cinematics, and I'll shut up and leave it there, and thank you all again so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.